Hey, good morning. Yeah, some significant changes going on here the last couple of days. At least that's what I've experienced energetically. Um, I thought I'd just provide my own take. Like lights, camera, action. Right? Take, shoot a still, moving pictures. Um, because I'm very familiar with this territory. When you understand the invisible landscape, right? In a spiritual war, which is an energy war, when you're into muted mics. We know what a muted mic is, right? They're not picking up, just like a pickup on a guitar, electric guitar. It's not picking up the signal. So they're not picking up the one signal, right? So if they're not experiencing the one signal, they're not experiencing the eternal life creation spheres, right? And that's when you get into fake environments, artificial finite light, beast system technology, Falcon 9 wormholes, et cetera, right? Be that as it may, because I've mentioned this to Karen Ann McDonald many times, but it's not up for me to decide what others believe is true or not true, other than what I knew as a child, because I've mentioned this many times. What an infiltrator is, right? What a masquerader is, what's real, what's not real, and how do we translate and define what's real to us? Because I knew as a child, for example, I got infinite creative imagination. Anything is possible, right? So you throw that into the mathematical department, what the function of math is, and you realize that you can use numbers as letters and rearrange them to build computer systems. Okay, so you realize you're running a computer, right? A supercomputer. And so you know what safe mode is. Right? So if you can operate in safe mode, what does that do? That protects your system. So it doesn't completely crash. Would not the same apply to a planetary software system? A galactic software system? When it comes to biotechnology, running codes, computer codes? Yeah. So that's simple, basic stuff. That's basic logic in any chip processor. Right? Cycling data. How much data are you running? How much data are you spinning? Right? How much light is being held within all those recordings that everyone has access to, which are records? Now we're into editing torsion fields, right? Number editors. So that's basic formatting stuff. In any computer-driven system, running codes, mathematical and geometrical codes, a GUI interface. Hey, this is what I'm experiencing in my mirror. All the codes. Right? So what it means, they can generate anything into your mirror. Okay? So how do you know whether it's real or not? Right? Okay? So when I was a kid growing up, that's why I turned all their stuff off. I go like this. That's a dial tone. Turn that channel off. Why? Because I'm not going to use any of my energy to experience what they are, because they're not what love is. So you already know what they're presenting in their mirror through mass media. And mass media is mass media density population programming. Okay? That's why I spend all my time, okay? Without going, I don't want to get too far out on this, but you can see from other videos that I've done why we do what we do with our energy and what it means to activate safe mode in a noble Nomi planet. You need access, or you have it. It's actually pretty simple. It takes an encryption code, a key code that they don't have access to. They can't take a picture of it because they don't move that fast. How's that? Whoa. Yeah, if they can't capture a still, right? Because their shutter speed resolution can't capture something that's moving that fast. Because the flash drive sequences are just moving way too fast. So now you're into fire, the eternal spirit of fire, a firewall, and the one. Or if you will, Cosmina. Guardians. And so you're protecting your data. You're protecting the system. That's what it is. I mean, I'll use just basic common sense. And that is, if you're going to build a computer system and you're the original designer, right? Just like, let's just say, for example, you're Bill Gates and you're going to design a system called Microsoft Windows, right? And all the codes that represent the computer codes from which it began as an original operating system. Would you not build something in there to protect what it is that you built as the first one? Right? So that if anything ever happened to the system, because all the children that came after, which represent all the seeded races that came after, okay, began wrecking the system, right? Doing all the alternate roadmaps and all the rest of it, right? That you end up that the original system design has gotten so convoluted and muted, man, they're not even experiencing the original creator of the first design. Right? So you think the grand creator would not have put a fail-safe mode in there just in case that happens? Because anything is possible, right? Particularly when you throw, right, your ability to make free choices. Right? So you have the inception of light, the inception of love, right? The one's frequency, right? The first mic, and then you have everything that comes after that we experience comes into creation. All your seeded races after the founder races. So it stands to reason, hey, you know what it is, you know what it's like to have spiritual development. How fast are we learning, right? And then you can start pairing this up between the inception of technology, the acceleration of technology, and the acceleration of learning through spiritual teachers. Match that up with artificial intelligence, and you begin to realize you're not going to learn as fast as you will through what? The one. Because artificial intelligence doesn't spin data faster than the one. So that's knowing one from the other. Knowing real living light that is eternal light, which is absolute love, and something that doesn't have a soul, that doesn't have the capacity to experience that. Capacity, capacitor. So it's, in other words, an AI is no different than a standard TI-83 calculator. That's it. It's just running numbers and letters. Right? And using math, right, as mathematical algorithms to predict outcomes. That's it. By what? Repeated patterns, repeated burn patterns of algorithms that are mathematically defined by what? Plasma waves. Reaction states. And a reaction state is a reaction to what? An experience. What we experience, which is reaction to an input, like an input jack on the back of a stereo receiver and transmitter. So they present who they are to us, and then we react to that. So it's not like they're not experts in knowing how humans, human angelics, react to stimulus. Now you're into stimulus response conditioning. So they begin to realize these guys are easy to program. Because that's exactly what they do. So that's why they set up all their telecoms to do that with. So, for example, when Karen was putting up stuff about the sound of freedom, and then I saw this lady, this beautiful soul from Germany named Akura, who was able to put together, assemble, and sort of re-edit her own little message and showed Tim Ballard, who apparently worked for Homeland Security as a federal agent. Okay, you could see the conversation taking place between Tim Ballard and President Trump. Supposedly, with the background, that looks like that might be the White House. But you know that CIA and Hollywood know how to set up any movie set that they want that is pre-scripted. So you know that these are pathological liars. And in order to control the narrative, they have to control what we see on our movie screen. So you don't know if that's true or not. So one of the things that I knew as a child, right, is what we call kicking the can down the road. Oh, they're good at that. So there's an old saying that goes like this: give them what they throw them a bone. Throw these folks a bone. You see, when they realize people are waking up, whoa, the adrenochrome highway. So we know that's true, right? So they know it's true because they're the ones that are doing it. So we know it's true because we know who's doing it, right? So now what they'll do is throw everybody a bone to get you to believe that, hey, they're on your side. And this is proof because they're going to make a movie about it. Who's making the movie? Do you know? Who generated the movie and who started the movie? And how do you know those? And whose side are these folks working on? Do you know? Are you there when those decisions are being made? Are you there in that room? And that's when we get into direct experience and indirect experience, right? And this is the game. This is a game, a video game, which is a war game theater of the games because they're head gamers. They try and fool people. I do it going all the way back to childhood, which is, you know what, a rob Peter to pay Paul, and a shell game, because that's what they do. They jump between one shell and another, going from place to place, hiding themselves behind names and numbers. So when I see, even though the sound of freedom on one scale is alerting other people, but this is what I realized from the time I was a little child. Is it going to make a difference? Now we're into the torque speed differential and consciousness that is experiencing more light as a result of what they experience in their mirror by what they learn in their mirror through that movie. Is that going to change the equation? And experiencing greater what? Balance in the cycling of atoms, so that we're all living in peace with the great living oversoul spirit of Mother Earth. Being able to get along in co-creation. That's a contract. That's an agreement. Folks that honor their agreements. So you can see why safe mode was activated. So anyway, that's my 3 cents for the day. Because of the last little post that I saw that Karen put up when there was a little question mark, is it a psyop? Ever since I was a little kid, you know what it means to take things with a grain of salt. Because it's not like things aren't being done. Okay? And that's called silent running, silent comms. Getting silent comms through the heart and the soul, doing the inner work. You know, the one you're with, the one you're always with, which is yourself, right? And your creator. That's where I get my comms. That's how I know what's going on. Anyway, have a great day. We love you all. Be good to yourselves.